It's been 4 years since Blizzard's World of Warcraft took over the MMO scene. With its low barrier for entry, distinct diverse character classes, and stylized graphics that performed well across a wide range of systems, this behemoth has smashed sales records, eaten up countless hours, and, unfortunately for some, relationships. Wrath of the Lich King is the second expansion to come out for a while, and the changes and refinements ensures this game isn't going away anytime soon. The previous expansion, The Burning Crusade, came out in January of 2007 and introduced new races and catered more to newcomers. Lich King continues the tradition of Blizzard constantly tweaking and adding to the experience, yet it's geared more for experienced WoW players. As the title suggests, a lot of the story of this expansion centers on the Lich King, a prominent figure in Blizzard's alternatively self-serious and tongue-in-cheek potluck of a fictional universe. His home continent of Northrend can now be explored, and the lore behind him has been expanded upon. Players will get to learn more about his past, and will even see him pop up frequently in dungeons and in standard quests to drive the narrative forward. This may seem like a simple thing, but it really does flesh out the story and make for a more cohesive world. One of the more notable additions with this expansion is that a new class has finally been implemented. As a throwback to the hero units in Warcraft 3, the Death Knight is for high-level players only and starts out at level 55. As a plate-wearing melee fighter, this new class is a serious force to be reckoned with, and has a fiction that's fleshed out through a unique starting zone that involves, like so many other things in the expansion, the Lich King. Like all classes, Death Knights have their own distinct timing for skill triggers and cooldowns, and the rhythmic nature of switching between rune attacks and those that consume runic power should keep players entertained. As is the trend so far with Blizzard expansions, there's a new capital city, the floating metropolis of Dalaran. The level cap got bumped again, this time to 80, and a new profession called Inscription has been added. With it, players get a range of new abilities sure to be appreciated, including using crafted glyphs of various strengths to power up your class skills. It's apparent that Blizzard has made progress since WoW's launch when it comes to zone design, as those in Northrend are the prettiest in Azeroth. There's more variety to the terrain and more pockets of interest to explore, which basically means that there are less boring, flat areas to slog through on your grinding missions, and the narratives that tie everything together tend to be stronger. Also, certain quests will change bits of the environment, which makes it feel like the world is actually developing. Alternative styles of quests where you control things like tanks and frostworms are also offered to make the leveling process a little less tedious. And in some of the higher level zones, players will be treated to some impressive sights with things like quest givers standing on floating battleships that reinforces the notion that there's a war going on and makes the world feel more alive. A new all-PvP area called Wintergrasp has also been added, an entire zone that revolves around attacking and defending a keep, though much of the community hasn't quite flocked to it yet. What's more populated is the added Strand of the Ancients Battleground, which offers a new style of team versus team combat. Like Wintergrasp, both sides will have access to siege equipment to alternately take turns on offense and defense, with the aggressors trying to break through a series of walls to a fortress's center. Both of these options for PvP represent yet another layer of gameplay for WoW players to invest their time, which in addition to the new, shorter 5-man dungeons and more accessible raid structure should allow for those intimidated by the more daunting challenges of WoW's world to get involved. Reviewing a game like this is a little odd. If you play WoW, then you more than likely already have Wrath of the Lich King. This expansion doesn't change the core experience in any drastic ways. It's all about grinding for levels, loot, and eventually getting into the high-end dungeon and PvP content. Like all WoW fans, there are things I would like to see added or tweaked, such as Blizzard not relying so heavily on community add-ons for interface functionality, but WoW is still the premier MMO that you know and maybe even love. It's good to know that Blizzard is so dedicated to its community and willing to flesh out and evolve its product, though in the years ahead it'll be interesting to see how long this particular brand of MMO will remain in the spotlight. For now, the WoW machine is in no danger of slowing down, and expansions like Lich King are here to make sure of it. For the full written review, log on to IGN.com.
This is